people, good morning. So let's have this discussion. Yeah, I think one thing that people don't really talk about enough is how multilingual Africa really is. And I'm saying this in reference not only to a specific instance, but a lot of interactions and a lot of instances you realize that a lot of Africans really speak different languages. Okay, let me take an example of this. There's this recent clip I was watching. It was of students who were performing to an audience. I think they were reciting something, and the students were supposed to introduce themselves, their names, where they came from, and the languages that they spoke. And as I said, it was students from all over the world. Most of the students, a lot of the students who were African actually spoke different languages, like they were very multilingual. Then the ones who are from Western countries, most of them at best bilingual, trilingual maybe, but most of them either spoke one or two languages. Most of the Americans, most of the students, they would either say, hello, my name is this and this, I speak English. At most it would be English and Spanish for the American kids. Western mostly English. All of them, they barely spoke 3 languages. But when it came to African students and Asian students, most of them, they were bilingual. Most of them spoke 3 languages, others even 4. So that got me thinking, and I was just reflecting back on a similar instance that I've experienced. For instance, I'm Kenyan, and in Kenya, an average person speaks about 3 languages, I'll say, because we have 2 national languages, which is English and Swahili. And beside that, someone will speak English, Swahili, which is taught in schools, and then their indigenous language. So, depending on where you come from, an average Kenyan is trilingual. And depending on their proximity to other people, other tribes and other communities, they'll also speak and understand other languages. So that means, like, it's so common to find someone speaking 5 languages. An average person in Kenya, it's so common to find someone speaking 4 languages. It's so common to find someone speaking sometimes even 6 languages or understanding others. It's so common. And it's not even in Kenya only. I've also interacted with a lot of other Africans from other places, and you find they speak a lot of languages. And I think this thing should really be, like, it should be celebrated the way it's supposed to be, because most of the time it's not really acknowledged. Because in Africa, we find, I think also there is the impact of colonization, something like that. We have African nations that speak English. We have those that speak the colonizers' languages, we have those that speak English. We have those that speak French. We have those that speak, I think, Portuguese. Yeah. And others, I'm not really sure, but I know we speak a lot of the Western languages, yeah. For instance, I had a friend from Burkina Faso, and this friend will speak English, he will speak Swahili, he will speak French, he will speak some bit of Ugandan, he will speak their indigenous language, he will speak, I think he will speak like 6 languages, fluent, speaking and understanding like fluently. Just look at that and you admire that and you're like, learning a language is not easy. So for someone to really speak like 5-6 languages and be fluent in them, understand them, and be able to switch depending on different contexts, that is such a big deal to me. And I also saw something on the internet recently. Someone was talking about how South Africa is so multilingual, like they keep switching English, the Zulu, the indigenous languages, all of that, and they mostly speak it like in a sentence. Someone can use like 3-4 languages, and that is so beautiful, because I don't know, like the diversity in Africa. When you talk about language diversity, it's so, like, it's to be celebrated. And I'll go back again to the context of me being Kenyan, and because I'm using that because that is where I've grown up, and that is the culture and the language that I know. For instance, in Kenya, we also have a language that is coming up called Sheng. And Sheng is basically, how do I put it? Sheng is like slang. It's like our slang, yeah, and mostly it's a mixture of English, Swahili, sometimes one or two indigenous languages are thrown there. So you'll find like a Kenyan, an average Kenyan speaks English, Swahili, Sheng, which is also a language in its own, despite it not being an official language, but it's still a language that is used to communicate. So English, Swahili, Sheng. You'll find someone speaking the indigenous language. You'll find, like, it's so beautiful. The multilingualism, it's so beautiful. And even when, for instance, I see this with a lot of Africans in foreign countries, you'll find someone, let's say someone lives in the UK, they speak their languages, not even in the UK. Let's take something like French, because UK English is mostly common. Let's say someone lives in France, an African, maybe they've migrated there. Most of the time they'll speak the languages that they used to speak in their country. Let's assume they come from an English speaking country, and then they go to France and they'll still learn the new language, which is French. And you just find someone speaking a lot of languages and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. Like, I think more research needs to be done on multilingualism in Africa mostly, because there are a lot of beautiful languages. There are a lot. For instance, in Kenya we have 42. Is it 42? 42 or 40 what? I think 42 indigenous tribes, and each tribe has their languages, their different languages, and the tribes have sub-tribes, which also speak different, like the same language, but it's a variation. So the languages that only exist in one country are a lot. Imagine in 54, 55 countries in the entire continent. And people understand each other perfectly, and people communicate perfectly. So this is just something that ought to be celebrated, because we are very multilingual. We are very multilingual compared to the Western countries. And this is no shade, or no, I don't even care if it's shade, but we are multilingual. When it comes to language, nah, we kill it.